Have you ever noticed your mind is constantly talking to you? I lost my water bottle. Where is it? Oh, there it is. You're talking to yourself, but you're only saying what you already know. It's like there's two of you in your head. But here's the weird part. Who's actually speaking? Is it really you, or just a thought pretending to be you? Philosopher and neuroscientist Sam Harris explores this exact question. He says, if you truly observe your mind, you start to see how strange it is to identify with a thought. A thought appears, then disappears, but we cling to it. We say, this is me. If thoughts arise and dissolve without our control, how can they define who we are? You can even experience this directly. Try pressing your hands together right now. Now focus on the pressure, the warmth, the tiny micro sensations between your palms. Suddenly, the concept of hands fades. All that's left is a fleeting cloud of sensation. Every experience you think you have, when examined closely, becomes something transparent and temporary. And it's our resistance to this ever-changing flow that causes us to suffer. Even when you recall a peak moment from your past, the emotional charge is gone. Because real insight isn't found in the memory. It's in what you can be aware of right now. According to Harris, mental well-being comes from shortening the half-life of negative emotions. It's not about never feeling anger or fear, but there's a massive difference between feeling angry for 10 seconds and staying angry for 10 hours. When you practice mindfulness, those emotions stop being problems. They become warning signals. Take pre-performance anxiety, for example. Instead of thinking, why am I like this? Why won't this go away? You can simply notice it as the physiological effect of cortisol in your body. And at that moment, the emotion is no longer part of your identity. It's just a sensation, a chemical ripple, not who you are. But what about free will? Harris says that too, might be an illusion. And it's not just philosophy saying that. Neuroscience backs it up. In the Libet experiments, researchers found that the brain initiates a movement hundreds of milliseconds before the person consciously decides to move. This early activity is called the readiness potential. Are you really deciding or just catching up with what your brain already started? In the same way, the default mode network and the anterior cingulate cortex play a central role in shaping our inner experience. But we're not consciously aware of how they do it. What we call decision-making is really just the prefrontal cortex combining thousands of inputs, past experiences, genetic wiring, and environmental influences, and handing us the result. So that feeling of free will, could it be the result of deeply conditioned automatic processes? The truth is, most people spend their lives suffering over things that never actually happened. Just a thought, a mental story, spinning around on repeat. But if you could learn to put some space between yourself and those thoughts, you might realize you're living in a much larger reality than you ever imagined. A more spacious, more peaceful one. According to Harris, what we experience as I is just a mental construct. Meditation lets you see directly that this construct was never real. You may not be able to choose your thoughts, but you can choose not to fuse with them. And that right there is the greatest freedom.